Do you want to know the number one social media marketing hack to build and engage your audience? Don't be silly. Of course you do. Question is it authentic? Stay tuned and find out.
Being an entrepreneur sounds like, yes, another new client. I did it. But it can also sound like, I am really not understanding this technology, and I'm feeling so overwhelmed. Am I even cut out for this? That's why I started the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast to help infopreneurs, coaches, and course creators who want to build a business online but are battling technology, overwhelm, procrastination, and even imposter syndrome. Think successfully, think differently, think bigger, and take action by learning tips from an array of business owners, all dropping knowledge on the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast. Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
What is up? What is up? What the hell is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to another dose of social media engagement learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman. And as most of you know, I've been in the coaching course creation online space since back in the 90s. And so you could say I've got a bit of experience under my belt, but I'm still learning. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to share with you what I have learned and what I am still learning about course creation, coaching, entrepreneurship, and infopreneurship. So, who are you? Well, to me, my friend, that is infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur. More specifically, an infopreneur, either with or seeking a coaching and online course model in your business. Or perhaps you're just hoping to have that very, very soon. Either way, you're here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart. Just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. And that's why I'm here hitting you with another solo success episode coming to you straight from the Dark Horse HQ. Why? Because as we already know, there are no shortcuts to success except for taking those little steps towards goal every single day. Social media. You know, everyone's talking about social media and using that to your benefit. And I know there are 1,000,001 social media marketing tactics being touted by the experts. And I have no doubt that some of them actually work like gangbusters. And actually, I've used a few and gotten some benefits from them. But most of them, frankly, they just don't work. And all of the tactics that I find do work, there's a common denominator. And that common denominator is it's a giant time suck, right? And it makes social media marketing more of a job than something you do on the side in order to build your following, grow your prospect list, and hopefully eventually make a few sales. So what I want to do here today is share with you my number one social media marketing hack. However, before I do, I need to give you a brief word of caution. While this works, and it works well with building your audience, there is also something about it that might be a bit, how do I say it, inauthentic, right? Because here's the thing. Your social media audience, they know. Let me emphasize that. They know that you are not sitting there staring at your screen, waiting with bated breath for their response to your latest post. It's just a fact. And yet they want, or at some level, they need for you to pay attention to them and to damn well care about what they think. Yeah. So let's take a forward example to illustrate what I'm talking about here. Let's say you are a movie star. And I mean like one of those top-notch A-list stars, you know, an Al Pacino, a Meryl Streep, a Tom Hanks, a Tom Cruise, right? Top Gun Maverick just came out. So, you know, those are the kind of, right? Those people that you wouldn't expect to actually respond on social media. But if you did get a response to them, even if it just appeared that they responded, or even appeared that they cared about what you thought, it would probably make your day, right? You'd be like, oh my God, Tom Cruise replied to my tweet, right? So you get the idea here. You already instinctively know what I'm about to tell you at some level, although you probably haven't used it or utilized it very effectively. Here's the thing. Successful social media marketing comes down to establishing a parasocial relationship between you and your followers. What's parasocial? Well, it's really just this fancy term for a relationship that a person imagines that they have with another person whom they do not actually know, such as a celebrity or even a fictional character. I mean, you just imagine for a moment you're going to a Comic-Con, right? And you're dressed up as, I don't know, Wolverine from the X-Men in your costume. Just you spent the whole year prepping for it, right? You got your tickets super early. You built your costume and you look like Wolverine. The people approaching you aren't going to call you Tom or Jane or Dick or John. No, they're going to call you Wolverine. Right? They're connecting with that fictional character. So your goal in social media is to get your audience to engage with your social media marketing personality in a manner that is meaningful to them, right? You need to hear that again. In a manner that is meaningful to them, but doesn't take up too much of your time or tax you emotionally, right? In essence, you're making people think you care about them. Now, mind you, I know there's a number of you, hopefully the bulk of you that are listening to this right now, really do care about them. But you are not actually engaging with them on a personal one-to-one basis, right? Let's just be honest here, right? You're putting your post out in a broad coverage perspective. So, your followers, they get it. They know, at least subconsciously they know, that you and they are not besties, right? You're not BFFs, but that doesn't matter. They will still get the enjoyment out of the relationship, and a bond will be built between you, them, and your brand, or maybe just them and your brand. So here's how that might work in your business. Let me give you some steps here. Number one, get your followers talking about themselves in a way that relates to your business or your service. For example, if you're an office productivity expert, a productivity coach, ask them, what do you see as the biggest time waste in your office that no one seems to care about? A question like that includes not just your current customers, but also anyone out there that works in an office that just wants to vent, right, with their own personal time-wasting pet peeve. This allows your audience to engage in a way that's meaningful to them. Remember, I talked about that. Regardless of whether or not they've read your book, taken your course, engaged in any of your free content, listened to your podcast, or even hired you as a consultant. Now, number two, any response you give, no matter how minimal, will make the poster feel good, right? You've probably noticed it yourself that when you post on social media and the creator replies or even just likes it, right? Gives you an emoji, actually types something out, or just gives you a like, they're like, hey, they recognize me. They noticed I exist. And that feels good. Of course, we all want to be noticed. We want to be recognized. You could hire someone out to do this, right? You can always hire someone to respond to the posts. And for those posts that you especially like, you can type out a full response and engage in a conversation. And when you do, others will notice and they'll be more inclined to engage as well. Now, the response is important, even crucial. But it's a bit like a balancing act, right? If you try to give a thoughtful response to everyone, you'll never have time to actually do your business. You'll be stuck on social media. So therein lies the trap, right? Plus, you'll be seen as too accessible, right? Which will lower your perceived value. Wow, if you're that easily accessible, maybe you're not very good at your business, or you're spending too much time on social media, whatever it might be. If everyone is special, I guess you could say no one is special, right? Think about that for a second. If everyone is special, No one is special. Now, let me clarify that for a quick moment. I think everyone is special in something, in some way, right? You may be really special in fixing cars. I suck at fixing cars, right? I am really special in public speaking. You may hate public speaking. So I come back to, if everyone is special when it comes to what it is you're talking about, then no one is special. So you've got to make your followers work a little bit to get your attention. Yeah, just a little bit, not too hard. Let them compete to have the best answers, or the answers that spark you to reply. So don't reply to all of them, right? Pay attention. And the ones, those gold nuggets that you find out there, chime in. The highest form of competition for your attention? Well, that's sales. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we're here for? Right? And there's nothing wrong with making money, is there? No, you need it to buy bread, put a roof over your house, put some food in your tummy. You might want to get a shout out to those who buy from you, or ask them to post when they do buy from you. Yeah, here's a thought for you. This will show others that people are buying your product. People are buying your service. They're buying your content. They're buying your information, and that you give your customers more of your personal attention, thereby creating even more sales and hopefully this snowball effect. Wow, he's paying extra attention to those that have stepped into his sphere of influence, his buying realm, right? Wow, this is what he does on the outside. I wonder what he does underneath the covers. And number 3, let's not forget this. Your goal in social media is to cultivate that parasocial relationship, right? And you want to cultivate it on a mass level. This means it's about the prospects and the customers. It's not about you and your product. Let me say that again, ladies and gentlemen. It's about your prospects and customers. It is not about you and your product. Your focus needs to be on the audience that you're building. Post content that engages your current audience while bringing in new folks. Foster a sense of community. Bring everyone into the fold. Remember to ask relevant questions that potential prospects can answer, not just your current customers. That's making them feel important. And when they hit that gem of an answer for you, chime in. And when your current customers drive home some of the points that you know well that they learned from you, and if they didn't learn it from you, they're sharing it because you have reinforced the importance of that fact, chime in. Doing all of this, well, it's easier than it sounds, but it takes practice, right? It is easy with practice, but you're going to stumble. You're going to bumble through it for a while, right? And the result, I think, is going to be a well-executed parasocial relationship with your audience that will be, shocking, right? I've seen social media marketers increase their engagement by several 100% within days using a technique like this. So let's just wrap this up real quick for you. Get your followers, number 1, get your followers talking about themselves in a way that relates to your business, all right? So ask those questions about the things that your expertise is around, but ask them to share their opinions. You're not trying to share your opinion. Get them to share theirs. Remember, it's about them, not you. Number 2, any response that you give, no matter how minimal, is going to make your poster feel good. So make sure you're paying attention to those important folks. And then number 3, your goal in this is to cultivate that relationship, that parasocial relationship, and you want to do it on a mass level. That way you can drive more folks from your social media into your funnel path, your sales path, your sales funnel, whatever phrase you want to call it. So take a minute right now as I'm wrapping up this episode and really think of 5 questions, think of 7, right? Think of a week's worth of questions. Think of 7 questions that you could ask on your social media platforms over the course of the next week, right? So it's Monday. Well, it's Monday when this episode will be dropping. So this will get you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you could create those questions, populate them with a little bit of emojis to grab their eyeballs. Maybe there's a graphic representation of your question that you can include on your social media post. And go ahead and as soon as it's over, right? As soon as I say thank you, think successfully and take action, just stop and go put those on your schedule for your social media this week and see which of the posts get the most attention, get the best answers, how you're able to engage with them more as a result of their responses to your content. Now, it's not going to happen on Monday. It may, it could, but I think what you'll find is as you do it repetitively and they start hearing you asking the questions, and they're like, oh, he really wants to know, or she really wants to know what it is I think about this. They'll begin to chime in. So don't expect this immediate flip of the script unless you have very engaged and involved audience already, in which case you could just drive even more engagement and build your audience even faster. But if you're, like me, right, you just got a couple of thousand, right, who pop in every once in a while and check you out, you'll see that it might take maybe by Wednesday or Thursday before them go, oh, okay. And as that momentum builds, some of the previous posts from Monday and Tuesday will start showing up on other members of your audience's feed, and you'll start seeing this trickle-down effect. So be sure to pay attention, or make sure someone is paying attention for you. So go on. As soon as this episode's over, give me about 30 seconds here, create those posts today, and figure out what are the 7 questions you want to ask your audience about them to share with you and the rest of your audience. Get their insights, get their opinions, what's important to them. Ask those questions and start listening to their answers. Heck, you might even find there's a hole in your product or service that you need to fill in with a new angle, with a new piece of content, with a new product or service, or an enhancement, an add-on. A piece of your product or service, you're like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't asked my audience. All right, speaking of asking my audience, what do you think? You want to keep getting these daily? Well, it's not daily. It's 3 times a week right now. All these success tips. And if you do, right, let me know. Go into any of my social media platforms and give me a shout out. Tell me what you think. Or, seeing as how you're listening to a podcast, go to the podcast platform you're listening to right now and drop in a 5-star rating. Right? Give me a thumbs up. Different podcast platforms have different abilities. But here's the thing. It's those subscribes, ratings, and reviews. So if you want to keep getting this show, hit subscribe. If you love it and you're like on Spotify or Apple, give me a 5-star rating and leave some kind words in the reviews. Heck, as I've told you many, many times, ask questions in those reviews. I read every single one of them. I take them to heart. I listen to some of the advice, and I listen to some of the things that you sing praises about, because that's what you want to keep hearing. So it is those subscribe, ratings, reviews is your way of telling those podcast platforms out there that you are getting the value. And what they do in return is they give us a little bump up in the rankings, which means we reach more driven entrepreneurs just like you. So please take a moment and help show the love. All right, you get out there, you run your race, and then let me hear about it. I'm serious. Tracy@darkhorseschooling.com. Tell me the idea or tip you came away with, how you put it into action, and what results you got from it. Heck, who knows? Probably even bring you on the show and let you share your story. Until next time, think successfully and take action. Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
And you know this!
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.